Tripoli is a city under siege. In August, a coalition of armed groups known as Libya Dawn stormed the city and proclaimed a new government. But other armed groups, aligned with the elected government, are now counter-attacking.
It's my third night in Tripoli, and I'm getting used to the fact that every night around 9 o'clock, the gunfire and the explosions start up. But every night they seem to be just that little bit closer.
We're with the night shift at Tripoli's main fire station. Most foreigners have left because of the fighting, and because some groups in the Libya Dawn militia hold extreme Islamist views. Living with the fire brigade gives us the chance to see life in Tripoli and get some protection from kidnap. Shift supervisor Abdulrazak is called by fighters on the edge of the city.
What are you hearing? The militia want Abdul's men to deal with the burning tyres because their enemies, a rival militia, are hiding behind the smoke. Since Libya's revolution, Abdul has got used to dealing with militia groups. He has no intention of allowing his men to be used as pawns in a battle. So normally when there's gunshots in an area, do you wait until it's died down before you go?
He stalls the militia for an hour until they stop calling. Another call comes in, this time from a local shopkeeper. His business is burning down.
I think we're going.
Firemen have been called out to a fire in a supermarket here.
Fighting causes constant power cuts, and that's leading to fires.
Firemen have just found the cause of this fire. It's a petrol generator. This one was inside the building in an enclosed space. That's what causes them to overheat and eventually start a fire.
Many of the younger firemen joined the service after the revolution. Instead of becoming part of a militia, they wanted to remain neutral and help the city.
Can't believe what these guys have to deal with. They've got a massive crowd there. They know there's probably a tank of petrol in there that was connected to the generator which started the fire. And then you've got militia turning up as well. This place is crazy.
Station, Abdul tells me about his previous life as a champion weightlifter.
Let's see. Oh, wow. How many kilos? 140 kilos. What's the most you ever lifted? 185. Was that African record or? It's impressive, right? So you're always telling him he's old man, old man. Look at the young man.
رغم السن متاعها خلاص عمرها خلاص تو لينا حنيه خلاص في الجديد لينا حنيه تو.
Have some respect. Look what this man's achieved. Amazing.
Abdul lived through Gaddaffi's brutal police state. But then the country was rich and ordered. Today, it's chaos. But he's confident in his team.
ما فيش أخطاء أو معناتها خوف من أي سقف. احنا معناتها من الناس المسالمين. هذا معناتها بالمجموعة بالكامل.
Next morning, and a new team comes in. Mohammed is a shift supervisor. The firemen tell me that Tripoli's people are becoming frustrated and angry.
ضرب ذخيرة ضرب سلاح راه ايه بالسلاح مرأة ماتت في وسط الحوش جونا أولادها وكاديه واحد ردة فعل بدو يضربوا فينا بالرصاص فما.
It's not long before we're back in the fire engine, trying to reach a fire in downtown Tripoli. There's a lull in fighting, so everyone's trying to get their business done.
So much traffic. You don't have lights? Oh, okay.
And a siren's not all they're missing.
No helmet? Really? Wow. Sounds like it.
We arrive to find a sauna on fire. There's an oil tank inside the building that could explode. The roof is half collapsed and the rest could come down at any moment. I start to see what the firemen mean about their kit. They fight fires like this wearing nothing but t-shirts, and they're not expecting to get better equipment anytime soon. The sight of our camera provokes a violent reaction from the sauna owner. He tries to attack us with a brick. Throughout Gaddaffi's rule, Libyans were taught to mistrust all Westerners. And even though the West helped overthrow Gaddafi, the sentiment remains.
It just goes to show how volatile this country is. The crowd here is incredibly hostile, and all it took was the sign of Westerners with a camera. Five men have managed to put this fire out, and interestingly, they're just as quick to get out of here as I am.
The team are now halfway through their 24-hour shift.
So what are you guys doing?
Most of them expect that fighting between the two rival governments and their militia allies will get much worse.
احنا راه مش من توا مش عايشين منها البترول من قبل من عهد النظام السابق راه
قلت لك احنا لو عايشين من البترول قصدي مطافي زي توا بتكون هيك مش راح تكون هيك تكون افضل من هيك معقوله مطافي هيك زي توا لبس الدنيا.
Libya's central bank still pays state employees like firemen, but they don't know how much longer that will last.
شهرين درنا سكرنا شهرين
ما فيش واحد عبر علينا ولا عدل علينا.
شهرين 2 months. 2 months closed there.
Nobody even looks.
No.
We're called to a fire at a base for 3 of the armed groups that make up the Libya Dawn militia. As we get close, a militia fighter jumps onto the fire engine and directs it through the traffic. Since the revolution, around 300 different militia groups have formed in Libya. Their loose alliances are based on tribal loyalties as much as religious ideology. We arrive at the base. The firemen realise they've been tricked. The militia are throwing their weight around, reminding the firemen who's in charge.
تقول نحن نقول تو من مصدر قوه وبرنامج زي هذا ما تقدرش تواجه نقولوا به وخلاص هي المفروض غلط هي ما كي موقع ولي موقع احنا تنبخه هنا وخلاص من هذا بيديروا مقر فما.
It's a humiliating situation for the firemen.
فهمت علي من هذا ما يقدروش معناها المفروض ما نطلعوش من غادي لحاجه شقيه.
We've just been asked to leave this place because obviously the militia are a little bit jumpy about having cameras around. They're not jumpy about having the firemen around though. They'd quite like to get this sand problem under control because apparently some of them suffer from allergies. So they've got the fire service out to spray the sand, keep it from blowing up in the air. For the fire service, they're in the same position as everybody else here in Tripoli. There is no law and order. The militia are the only people in charge and they've got the guns, so you do what you're told, just like everybody else.
We head back to the fire station through neighbourhoods scarred by 3 years of fighting. Although there's one place that's fared worse. After 42 years of dictatorship, Gaddafi was toppled by a people's revolution.
I'm standing in the remains of Gaddafi's palace, and you can see that it was once a very grand place. It's a huge boulevard of trees as you come into it, and I'm told there used to be beautiful white camels all over the place, and he had obviously his Bedouin tent set up. You can see just how angry everybody must have been. They've come in here and they've not just destroyed the place, they've tried to leave absolutely no trace of it whatsoever, and now it's just sitting here like a scar on the city's conscience. The only physical reminder that the man ever existed.
It's the first time we've filmed without the fire brigade, and within minutes there's a problem. A man calls me over.
Inglesi, Britannia.
He gets straight on the phone, and it's not sounding good.
بريطانيا ما بريطانيا انجليز تبع استخبارات امريكيه تبع نحولهم لفجر ليبيا يا جماعه هذا ما عند في رساله
ما بطاقاتهم معاهم يا رجل.
لا بطاقات لا بطاقات لا.
You don't want to see the cards.
As well as Islamist groups, there are plenty of criminal gangs in Libya, including within the militia, and we don't want to end up getting kidnapped.
لا كيف نبغى نحولوهم الناس هذا كيف برك في وراه موضوع ثاني يا رجل.
The man isn't armed, so we leave while we can.
Let's get moving. It's just that uncertainty for people. There's one militia one week, another militia the other week. They don't know who's on which side, and frankly, they all just want to be on the right side. And as far as they're concerned, that means you report anything suspicious.
Back at the station, the firemen aren't surprised to hear what's happened to us. They're deeply disillusioned themselves.
الديمقراطية هذه راحت من قبل هذه راحت من ايامات القذافي تو ما فيش ديمقراطية يعني هو زي سويسرا زي القذافي زي دورة جديدة دورة ما جاتش على صح والمطالب نتاعها توقعناها تجي معنا لكن بعدين قلبت بالعكس جت ضدنا ما جت معنا في البداية كانت 100 بعدين كلها مشت ما فيش كلها توا السلاح كلها هو اللي يحكم كلها السلاح قوة سلاح هي تحكم ذات ما فيش.
What about the police?
نيابة ما فيش قانون ما فيش كلها ما فيش.
Our conversation catches the attention of the new shift supervisor, Ahmed.
لكن السياسة خلاها أمور برا.
زي ما كان زي هو ما تنبخنيش فيه كان زي هو. لأن هذا واحد مقبول ما يعرف حد قدامه يجي يقول كود انت حتى انت مش مدري شيء.
One of the firemen, Ali, is spending his time between calls painting the fire station.
What colour is this going to be? White or white?
أكيد ما هو قصدي كيف هذه واجهة الدفاع المدني كيف يعني احنا نركض هنا نباتوا هنا بس هذا this is my work. نجيبوا عامل من برا يبي money so much.
So this is why everyone in the fire station says that you're so active.
مش انا بس ترى هالبارة في اللي يدير هيك مش انا بس.
Ali, you say that, but right now everybody else is playing PlayStation and smoking nargila.
Ali is 24 and lives with his parents. He moonlights as a taxi driver to supplement his meagre firefighter's wage. I join him as he takes a passenger across town.
لا يا اخوي انت واحد من الناس تو ايش تخدم انت؟
انا تاكسي ونخدم في شنو اسمه في الدولة.
شوف تو تخدم في زوز جهات ويلا واحد باش تكون روحك ولا الاسعار زادت وكل شيء زاد والمرتبات ما نزلتش عندك علم ولا؟
تو غدوة انا بنشد الطابور على المعاش.
انت تخدم هذا هو شفتها ما هذا هو
بنشد الطابور غدوة انا غيرك. زي الناقص شادة في الخبزة شادة في البنزينة شادة في الطوابير هم بنزينة وفي شو بتقولهم؟
هذه مشكلة البنزينة
ولا هي مشكلة.
All over the city there are mile-long queues of cars waiting for petrol. Fights often break out. It's $6 a tank if you can wait, or $100 on the black market.
يا بس عندك هنا 12 ساعة في الحوش.
أنا قعدت في الحوش يوم ونص ما جاش.
النبي يوم ونص.
يوم ونص
ايوه
في مناطق قلت باليومين يا راجل والله
قلبة ولا قلبة يا راجل.
شوف انت بنزينة بالسلاح يا راجل. بنزينة بالسلاح.
اشبه بنزينة بالسلاح.
مش عارف. وهي هذه كلها افعال تاع الضيعة برا مواضيع شخصية.
ما بيمشي فيها المواطن الغلبان.
That evening, there's another power cut. It lasts all night. The firemen want me to understand the reason for the power crisis, so they send me to another fire station, this one at the city's fuel depot.
We're heading towards the Brega oil depot, which serves the whole of Tripoli and the surrounding area. Just over a month ago, the depot was caught in the middle of heavy fighting and was actually hit, which resulted in a huge cloud of black, acrid smoke over the whole city.
This footage from the time shows the scale of the fire. It happened as Libya Dawn's forces stormed into the city. The firemen at the Brega station led the attempts to put out the blaze, helped by colleagues from across Tripoli.
مستحيل تطفئ 8 خزانات مع بعضهم. مستحيل أي شخص في الإطفاء في العالم مستحيل يقدر يسيطر على 8 خزانات مشتعلة في نفس التايم.
One fireman, Ashraf, tells us that his mother could see the flames from her house. She thought her son was going to die.
فطول يعني بعثت لي رسالة استودعك في حفظ الله يا كبدي ربي يحميك أنت واللي معك. أنا من بعد سكرت الهاتف وما عاد بيت رد على حد. خلاص يعني أنا حتى الهاتف يعني دسيته وكشفت حريق طول يعني.
She must be very proud.
أكيد. مفتكر من وجهك.
أنا إيش أنا كنت يوم تصلي في الحوش تقول إن شاء الله يموت.
The firemen take me to see what remains of the depot. Amazingly, no one died.
Somebody must have been watching over you guys.
يوميا هنا. المعركة كلها حاضرين الأطفال كلها حاضرين هنا.
Both sides accuse each other of firing the Grad rockets that destroyed these oil tanks. It seems they were willing to let Tripoli burn in order to rule it.
Now that I'm up here, I'm starting to get a sense of just how much damage has been caused. This would have cost the Libyan people billions of dollars, and there's a whole system in place of deliveries and collections, feeding all the people around here, and it's all gone.
This is still a very sensitive site for the militia.
Some militiamen arrived at the gate asking who we were and what we're doing here. As a result, some of the firemen have become a little bit jumpy.
The firemen speak with the militia, who eventually leave. But we've been drawing too much attention to ourselves. Next morning, and the men are back out on call. A car is on fire. For the firemen, Each new militia brings new rules. The latest is they must have a militia escort. The minutes tick by.
After 10 minutes of waiting, we finally got our escort. It's a guy in a Toyota in front of us, wearing some kind of military fatigues. He's going to escort us to where this fire is. Looks like it's been dealt with. So these guys put the fire out themselves. Does that happen a lot?
طفوا بروحهم مواطن هو صاحب هذه حاجه تصير ديما صاحب سياره هذا صاحب سياره هو طفي هو في الميه ديما حاله تصير كلها ديما.
It's been a frustrating call out for the firemen. Fuel is as much an issue for the fire brigade as for everyone else in Tripoli. Mohammed is taking the fire engine to a petrol station, reserved for emergency vehicles. But no sooner do we get there than a row breaks out between Mohammed and the official in charge.
قال السيارة امس هذه معبية واحنا ما جيناش. ما عبتش السيارة امس.
Corruption is a problem in war-torn Libya, and Mohammed is being accused of siphoning off petrol to sell for profit. He's outraged.
السيارة أصلاً للخدمة هي. مش بنعبان هذه سيارتي ولا بنروح بالي حوش هنا للعمل هذه. سيارة للشغل. سويت بالله. سويت بالله بالله يا أقسم بالله حشر. نبي هنا بنروح بالي حوشي ما بنخدم بها يا رجل. خلاص ما صار شيء تنباع وانت عارف الشيء يلا خلاص بالله عليك سولتك بالله سولتك بالله
Mohammed gets his fuel, but every day the firemen are finding it harder to operate. Libya Dawn and its opponents are each threatening to intensify the battle for Tripoli. This modern and once wealthy city is slowly sliding into a chaotic and darker future.
Ever since all the fighting, the bin men aren't really working, so people have started piling up the rubbish and burning it.
وبعد تحرير طرابلس العمالة ما عادش فيه بقل زي شايف قمامة وما عادش فيه بقل.
The UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon recently warned that the whole country is in deep crisis, and that unless violence stops immediately, a better life for Libyans will be a distant dream.
Well, one of the firemen walked around the corner and just found an unexploded rocket. This goes to show what people in Tripoli are dealing with right now.
The need for Tripoli's firemen may soon be greater than ever.
Thanks for watching this classic Unreported World episode. Click the logo to subscribe for more award-winning documentaries from the Unreported World team. We upload videos every Sunday, keeping you up to date with content from all over the world.